Hey there, this is Craig Ansell, your host of the Career Growth Made Easy podcast. You know we're celebrating because we're at 100 plus episodes, and the best way to celebrate is to do something new and mix things up. Today, we have another guest on the show. We're bringing a podcaster and YouTuber to our show. His name is Vlad Iovu, and his show's name is Yes to Money. Join us after the intro to find out how you can change your mindset and double your money. Welcome back to the Career Growth Made Easy podcast. I'm your host, Craig Ansell. We're super excited because we're at 100 plus episodes, and we couldn't do that without our listeners. Thank you for being dedicated. Thank you for the feedback and support, and just showing your love to grow in your career fields, personally and professionally. We're mixing it up with guests. Today we have Yes to Money podcaster and YouTuber Vlad Iovu. Vlad, welcome to our show.
Hey, Craig, I'm really excited to be here, and it's really an honor to be on your show.
Oh, absolutely. Happy as well over here, and you're welcome, and we're glad to have you. One of the things that caught me, Vlad, was one of your recent episodes. And before we get into Change Your Money Mindset, Double Your Money in 2022, would you mind telling the listeners a little bit about yourself and kind of what inspired you to turn a podcast and YouTube channel on?
Like you said, my name is Vladimir Iovu, and I'm actually not from this country. I'm from a country in Eastern Europe called Moldova. And when I came into this country, first of all, I'm really blessed and honored to be in this country where pretty much is the land of opportunities. But ever since I was a child, I really had this passion for personal finance, and I've seen my parents how they're pretty frugal with money, how not that they did great with money, but they did pretty good for themselves. And that really, I kind of carried it on. And then when I came into the United States, I really came in this country with $1,000 to my name. And then from there on, I went to college and then got a really nice job. And then after I've established myself in my career, then I said, why not start to give something back, and at the same time perform my passion. That's really what my passion is, personal finance. So then slowly I got into podcasting, and then the show, like you said, is Yes to Money. And then from there I said, I think the audience really likes also some they like to see me, they like to see some charts and more explanation. And I mean, why not go on YouTube? That's like the best platform out there. So it's really the passion has been here with me, but then just until now I wasn't really able to really express it with the world, with kids, family, starting a career. So that's really a little bit about me.
Oh, that's absolutely fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. And I know that was just a really high level, quick summary, but from Moldova to the United States with $1,000 or less in your pocket to, being established now. And the beautiful message I hear from you, Vlad, is that you came with very little, you made something out of it, and now you're even wanting to give back, right? It's absolutely amazing. Thank you for your passion and your giving.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, this is the best, I would say the best feeling is when you are able to really give back to society, when you're able to contribute and share your message. And what a better way to actually share your passion, and especially when you can help people, just like you're doing with your show, right? You're helping people get established in their career, you're helping them with resumes, you're helping them with mentoring, like you have been my mentor and you're still my mentor. So it's really a great help. And, thanks for what you do as well.
Absolutely. You're welcome. And I'm honored to be your mentor. And in fact, as time goes on, I have a prior episode. I'll see if I can dig up the number. But to your point, Vlad, yes, I am your mentor. But why I say it that way is you're turning the relationship into a co-mentoring relationship, Vlad. And I don't know if I've shared that with you. You can have one person that comes in as what you and I know as the SME, the subject matter expert. You might seek them out because you're attracted to their knowledge or to the way they speak confidently, or they seem to have maybe more right answers than wrong answers, let's say. And so you might ask them, hey, could we sit down, lunch, tea, coffee, soda, whatever, and just chat? And if you feel compatible, as we did, we kicked things off with mentoring. I was the mentor and you were the mentee. But as time goes on, including your Yes to Money podcast, we've got to kind of change that around. And yes, I'm honored to work with you, but it's got to be co-mentoring now, Vlad. That's the only way it's going to work, because with your knowledge, you're giving to me as well. We both give, we both receive.
That's cool. Oh, thanks, Greg. Greg.
Absolutely. Hey, thank you for your background. And I know I mentioned to our listeners about today's topic, change your money mindset, double your money in 2022. So one of the things that caught me when you started your show was, as you think you will become. Can you expand on that, please?
One of my favorite quotes on the subject is, I can because I think I can. And I mean, I personally really, really believe in that. And I wasn't always like this. As probably a lot of people, as growing up, I had my own struggles. I had very low confidence. I didn't think that I was going to make anything out of myself growing up. But then slowly, I changed that around. I got into some meditation. I got into reading a lot of books, a lot of self-help books. And then slowly, I realized, no, hold on a second. If so-and-so can do it, why can I not do it? And then I slowly got into this path, and I had a few successes along the way. And then I said, okay, that really works. So if I focus on no, yes, or this can be done, this is possible, then usually things turn out to be possible. And on the other hand, if I say, I don't think this can be done, or this is really hard, then I immediately, you block yourself, you put yourself in a corner, and then things turn out not to be okay, or you might not be able to do it. So slowly, I really got into this, that if you think you can definitely do it. And even now, when I catch myself that say, oh, I don't think I can do it, I immediately change that. This quote just pops into my head, and then I just go on and say, no, I will be able to do this.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Vlad. And it may be the same quote, or we say it differently, or there's so many people that play off of other people's quotes and modify them. One of the quotes I remember, and I don't know who to give, which author it is at the moment, but if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And it's really the same message you have. However, you stayed on the positive side, right? And I really love it, because that leads us, I believe, into action. And I had an episode prior, it's called I Just Can't. And that was in my early days, episode 14, but that was back in probably, 2019, I actually recorded that, I think. And I just can't. Well, you're right. If that's what you think, you won't. You've set the focus. But then later, I started talking about actions. And really, we are all capable of taking actions. But do we give ourselves permission to do it? And I think that's where your idea comes in with your mindset. So now that we've talked about I can or I can't, what would you recommend when that show or anything else comes to mind with taking action in today's 2022 financial world?
Yeah, I mean nowadays, in media, it's so, it's everywhere in your face, and the bad news are everywhere. So really, what I would recommend to anyone regarding finances and regarding this topic, this quote as well, is that first of all, ignore the media, because they will always tell you that you can't. They will tell you that things are going down, that the market is about to collapse, that you'll not be able to live another day. And really, if you were to listen to the media, all you have to do is dig a hole and just hide in that hole and never come out of that hole. So I would just really recommend, first of all, ignore right? Ignore the media, and then surround yourself with people that are positive, that are encouraging, and also try yourself to become that person, right? Try yourself to become that positive. Always think about that, you know what, things gonna turn out okay. We live in a benevolent universe, and in the end, we want to, right, we want to achieve something good. We want to achieve something positive. So if you focus your mindset, if you surround yourself with people like that, then you will definitely succeed, and you will definitely uh, just make a good living while you're here.
Oh, yeah, I absolutely love your thoughts and ideas, and that brought something to mind. You know, focus on positivity with the people around you, and that makes me think of networking. And you can have positive or negative networks, and those networks can be your friends, family, neighbors, as well as in your professional life, your coworkers, your peers. So, who do you fill your networks with, right? It's the people, but then it's the type of people or the way they communicate, their mindset. Now, you know, we are talking, yes, more about money today, but it's also just in general, right? The choice of I can or I can't, the choice to take action or not take an action. And I do, in another episode, I had warned people, or at least asked them to be aware of, if you have someone that has a negative mindset, or every time, or most times I should say, you're around them, it seems to go into a negative, a complaining mindset, or a minimal, I shouldn't say minimalist, but I have minimal possessions, kind of a complaint mindset, then maybe if you try to lift them up and they don't want it, and you've tried repeatedly and you've used so much energy to try to help them up, which is a great thing to give back or to help others, maybe you should slowly reduce the amount of time you spend with that negative person, because they just don't seem to want to change. And that negativity, to your point, Vlad, can hurt you over time. It can pull you down, I believe. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, Craig, I could not agree more with you. I definitely love this quote that it says, "You are the average of the five people you spend most time with." And I absolutely cannot believe this more, because, and this quote also goes into, your income will be the average of the five people you most hang out with. And I believe that to be right, because you bounce ideas, you bounce thoughts, your even your energy, right? Your energy really, you attract, you're becoming that energy that you're surrounding with. So yeah, I could not agree with that more. And also about like you're saying, try, you try to help that person once. If they don't, then, or not once, you help them multiple times. If they don't, then you kind of gotta let that go. And also to this one, I like a quote saying that, I'll dig, I'll drop down at your level. I'll go in that deep hole where you are. I'll drop a ladder there, but then I'll climb back up. And then it's your choice to either stay in that hole, or use the ladder and climb back up. And many people choose to stay in that hole. So, but yeah, I'm with you. I will just go right back up, and let them be with their misery if they choose so.
Yeah, and that's thank you for that. And it's a difficult conversation to have. And I'm not. I don't think you or I are suggesting we're better than anyone else, or to turn those in need or those in pain away. That's not the message for today's show. I just want to be clear to our listeners. It's just that if you find yourself in a network that has one or two, let's say, I don't know. I want to say bad apples. I'm using the word on the air, but one or two people that just kind of pull it down, have some negativity on a constant basis. Yes, if you have the ability and the communication skill set to try to help them, guide them, and lead them out of it, should they be interested, that's a wonderful gift to have, personally or professionally. And I have done that on both levels. But if they just kind of want to stay in, I guess it is, wallow in their own mud and just be negative, to your point, in the hole, and not climb out with the ladder, I would slowly reduce my time and then move on to either replace that person with someone that might be new and bring more value, or someone that has a more positive mindset, or just, keep the network you have, but reduce the negativity.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. I mean, you're here to help people, right? You're here, like I'm here to help people. And And I believe everyone here wants to make a big contribution in the world, wants to help other people. And, why not just put yourself in more and more, in front of more and more people and people that want to hear your message, right?
You know what? You said something, the word contribution struck something to me, Vlad, and it's going to depart a little bit from today's topic, but I would like to share a little bit. So, with regards to contributing to society and then therefore increasing, society and your wealth, right? The yes to money concept, do it with respect and knowledge. Maybe we have a listener on one of your shows, your podcast, your YouTube, or on Career Growth Made Easy that's kind of yelling into the speakers. But Craig, but Vlad, I want to make a contribution. I want to grow. I want more money. I want more, growth. I want to promote, but I just can't, or it's not there for me. That's completely possible, Vlad. Maybe those people, maybe that person has to look at rebranding, taking their skills, their background, their abilities, and wiping out their resume, so to speak, starting fresh. If you've always been a particular type of, project manager, you've always been a particular type of person that has certain skill sets, and you've always been called XYZ, you might need to change your title. You might need to rebrand so that you can find the right position, the right job titles for you. Expand with what you do. Expand and see what other areas you could contribute, and that might lead you down a path that's more fruitful, that might be more enjoyable for you. So don't confine yourself to the same job title. Look at the abilities and skills that you have so that you can further impact society and your salary positively. So I'd like some feedback from you, Vlad, if you like.
Yeah, no, on this one, I agree. And I see this, I don't really want to convey the message that I really want to convey the message. I'm for diversity. I'm for different ages, different genders, and all that. I'm definitely for that. What I've seen actually in my line of work, even in my personal life, is the older we get, the more rigid we become, the more inflexible to change. And I personally have seen that. I'm not saying that everyone is like that. But like some people, we get older, and even though we don't like what we do, we still get stuck to that because that's what feels safe. That's what feels like, okay, I've done this forever, and I'm gonna keep doing. Even if it doesn't work, it doesn't bring me happiness, it doesn't bring me money, I'll still do it because it's safe. That what really keeps me in my comfort zone. So this is where we, like my suggestion, and this is where we say, look, it would really be nice to just try things out. Just try, see, maybe like you're saying, maybe you just pursue your passion, even if it's part-time, even if it's a little bit of time, just try that out. Maybe that, you just never know how that is going to work out. And this is again where you get into that mindset. If you think you can, you'll definitely get there. So to again, I could not agree with your point more than that saying, just get out of that, even if it's uncomfortable. Slowly, you'll see how that, it might be painful at first, but then slowly, it would get you on the right path.
No, thank you. I love the complimentary statements you made, and two words came to mind. If I remember the second, we'll talk to that too. But the first that's just jumping out at me is pivot, right? If you watch sports, basketball players, they put one foot down and then they pivot. Where am I going to pass the ball, or where am I going to go down court? You may fork to the left, you may fork to the right. What will you do? Pivot. So pivot is a very powerful word in our lives, professionally, personally, sports, and other fields. And sometimes we have to pivot. It might be a mindset pivot. It could be just, the way you think, I can't. That's a pivot. That's a change. And Vlad, as you know, and to your point, to amplify it, as human beings, we typically, age regardless, by the way, we typically resist change. Our bodies, our brains like to do things that we're comfortable with, that are repeatable, and that we know. So the good thing about that is we get experience with things. We may slowly do things better. We may even perfect things, perfect actions or processes. Good. But we stay comfortable Comfortable then goes to the other C word, complacency. And once we become complacent, I think our little candle inside, our little spark starts to die out, and that's where we might lose our passion and our hope to move forward.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it's really goes along the same
same thought process, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's really like what I've said before, what you said before. It's really we're wired like that. We're programmed from our ancestors to really look for what's safe, and staying in the same place seems to be safe, which is really not.
Yeah. Yeah. And, changing things up a little bit, I know we just talked about mindset and being comfortable and I can't. But part of mindset, I don't know if we realize as society how we're impacted and influenced by others. We talked about networking, talk about our peer groups and those around us. But what about things in the world, the marketing messages, the advertising that's going on? And well, actually I have two examples, but one I'll bring up are grocery stores. It's a necessity, regardless of the brand name you shop at, from the bargain chains all the way up to the high-end grocery stores. Wherever you are in the United States or wherever you are in the world, you have your special stores you go to. And marketing, how can marketing play a role in grocery stores? Well, analysis, reviews, research, tests have been done on this matter. And while grocery stores are there to help us and provide us with our staple foods and drinks and other, nice treats and surprises, they know that the things that are at eye level are more likely to be seen and more likely to be purchased. So they put the premium products that make typically more profit or more revenue in the general eyesight area, let's call it 5.5 feet. And then the items that don't make as much money or that aren't the biggest sellers get less premium space. I don't know, Vlad, regarding Yes to Money, if you have any thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, the marketing is pretty much the other half of any business, right? So it's to me is even while for me studying for how to create YouTube videos and how to deliver my message, how to spread my message with the world, is like I put in the effort, I create those videos, but then the other half is to market them, to really put them out there. And so with this other, with the grocery stores and everything, if they have really smart people behind the every grocery store, and especially in the marketing side, and they study, they study our behaviors, and they really get to know what people like, and get to know what, even sometimes it comes to a cost that might not even be good for the customer, like that candy bar or that whatever energy drink or that whatever it may be. But if people like it, if people really want that, or it's easier for them to make that purchase, they will definitely put it right in front of you, and you just cannot resist but get it. So I guess I definitely believe that the marketing is everything, or is not everything, but marketing is the other half of the picture. Let's say you're the best engineer out there, you're the best inventor, but if you don't know how to put yourself in the world, then how good is that?
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that. And I know, as podcasters and now both having YouTube, yours is video, and we'll be moving into that as well. You need to learn your message, to start off with comfortable. You just have to get to know your area, but then let's not be complacent and challenge each other. Let's continue to push and do new things, and let's try to understand our situations around us, help communicate, market our messages, but for a positive message and for a positive meaning. And talking about that positive message, something else I would like to touch on is a recent episode I did was 88, a guide to great performance reviews. What does that have to do with today's show? Well, I talk about not letting another performance review cycle pass you by without you taking action. Believe it or not, but each of you listening, have the ability to positively influence your next performance review, and more than you know. And it all starts with taking proactive steps. So circling back to the beginning of the show with I can or I can't, you have to make those decisions in life. Will you take those proactive steps? Why do I bring this up on a show about with a wonderful guest Vlad about money today? Because I also talked in that episode about how inflation and COLA, which is COLA or cost of living adjustments, how they affect us. And if we're not aware of saying yes to money, doubling or even multiplying your money mindset, then you're not going to be aware of opportunities you have to change your financial income. I'm not suggesting getting a second or third job, which you can, but it can be the job you're working. You can benefit more from it in other ways, growth, even financially, if you work on your performance as well as communicating your improved performance year after year. Vlad, I don't know if that ties into any of that specific episode you had, but if you'd like to give some feedback, I'm curious on your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm not sure if how your message to your listener, if you combine any of the spirituality or anything like that. But I personally, I'm a true believer that there is a higher power out there, that we're all connected to that. So what I guess my message here is that when you say you can, I mean, you definitely put yourself in that state of mind, and then you get that energy, you get that. It's already like half of the work is done when you say you can, and then you have that step ahead of you, or you're already a step ahead of everyone that says I can't, and then the next thing you just have to do it. But as it relates to your work, to your job, you have to value your value, and then you have to ask for it. So if you're putting the work, if you have that positive attitude, now all you have to do is ask for the value. And then the reason I mentioned spirituality is that when, let's say you want to go and ask for a raise, or you want to ask for a big salary or for a salary increase, but you're not doing the job. You're just there to, you're watching the clock to pass. Even though if your manager doesn't see it, there is that higher power out there that is definitely either going to help you, or it's really giving you what you're putting in. So what you're putting in the world, you're getting that much back plus even more. So if you're putting in dedication, if you're actually doing your job, then your results are definitely going to match that. You're really going to get back what you put in plus much more.
I love what you're saying. I keyed off of two things there, Vlad. One is that you reap what you sow. You put in the effort and you receive back your reward. And the other part about it was the passion, the focus. Do you take the time to make that positive choice? And so it's just really wonderful to think about how, your show, my show, and others out there are out there helping others and just giving back to society. And it just excites me to have you on, Vlad, as a guest, and to have your message on. Was there anything else, Vlad, that came to mind in that particular episode of yours that you might want to touch on?
Think about it.
I know, circling back to the beginning, that statement was really powerful. As you think, you will become. And that kind of helped us kick off the show. And in a nice way, we kind of circled back to that towards the end. So we kind of went full circle.
Yeah. I mean, I guess my final message again is, let's say you want to have more money. You want to have that nice house. You want to have that nice car. But at the same time, are you willing to be that person that has the nice car, that has the nice house and everything that you really want? Are you willing to be that person? Are you willing to put in the work, to be the disciplined person, to have to read self-growth books to change your mindset, to change your attitude. Until you're doing that, I mean, nothing really is gonna take place. If you're just putting words out there and really not taking action, then it's really to no good.
No, those are fantastic points. And, we can all want things that are outside our reach, and that's good to want, desire, to dream, to have a vision. But I would say if it turns greedy, meaning that you're wanting to obtain things that maybe you don't justly deserve, or maybe you have an overly strong passion or desire for something and you're not willing to put the effort in, that can be some challenging situations. And many people, I was actually thinking about your show, and I think you mentioned a book as well. I believe it was Tom Stanley's the author, The Millionaire Next Door, if that's correct. And Dave Ramsey, a financial guru as well, had him on his show at one point in time, I believe. If not, he quoted from him. So if I'm wrong on that, apologize. But he asked people, and he had looked and said, being a millionaire, and who would know the way you dressed, how plain you are. And it was, what's the most expensive pair of jeans you've ever bought? And we all figure, people that are millionaires are going to say, oh, $500 pair, $1,000 pair of silk jeans, whatever craziness is out there. And most millionaires that were referenced, there were either notes in a book or, again, from an interview, I forget which, said probably about a $20, maybe $30 pair of jeans, Vlad. And I mean, that's the kind of jeans that I wear, probably the kind of jeans that you wear. Just because you either have money or you're interested in obtaining money, you don't have to go out and flaunt it, and you don't have to go out and dress the look. You can just be natural jean shorts or jeans for 20, 25, $30 and still be a millionaire mindset, right? And say yes to money, the premise of your show.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I got to an age right now where I'm not anything about showing off. And there are so many people out there that are doing the show off, and this is really burning you down, and the word keeping up with the Joneses, right? It's so many of these people that are millionaires, they're millionaires, and they're doing things that makes them happy, right? That's the key. But other people that are struggling financially but want to keep up with their neighbor that has the nice car, the fancy clothes, jewelry, or whatever, then they go all above and beyond their means, and then they put themselves in a hole. So it's not about showing off. It's all about, are you comfortable? Are you happy?
And thank you for sharing that. And it's really about your message, right, too. It's your mindset with money, your mindset in life. Are you being an authentic and genuine you, or are you trying to be someone else, right, or act for someone else? And that brings me to a point probably towards our closing here that I remember in 2008 when I became unemployed. And that is a big reason where my increased passion for learning, growth, and then learning about resumes, cover letters, high performance growth, everything that my company and this podcast stand for, that is a large portion of where it came from. And I just went on an exponential growth journey. But one thing, Vlad, while I was unemployed, I had a reduction in force, and they gave it a nickname, RIF, R-I-F, right? Everything has to have an acronym nowadays. And one day I was employed going on nearly, I think it was 12 or 13 years of dedicated service to a company. And the next day, boom, I was not. And so as I searched for work and was concerned about where's my next dollar going to come from to pay our mortgage, to pay our family's health insurance, anything, right? Put gas in the car if needed, whatever the case may be. I was worried. I was stressed. I was concerned. But you would figure with the economy going into a meltdown in late 2008 and early 9, you would figure that spending habits would have changed as other people unfortunately lost their jobs or had reductions of hours. But the newspapers, the financial media reported that the economy was strong. It didn't make sense, Vlad. I did some research because here I am without a job looking at almost anything I can just to bring in the next dollar. And it turns out that most people had switched over to rely on their credit cards. And they eventually, over months, maxed out their credit cards, no longer were able to use those. So then you'd figure, hey, we learned from our lesson. We need to stop our spending and start paying our cards down. But then the financial media reported spending continued. So this baffled me, Vlad. And what happened, there was a spike on the internet with regards to selling platforms. And so people were selling their beloved, their prized possessions, baseball cards, coins, whatever materials, vehicles they had that they had prior held on to, possibly as family heirlooms. People were selling this by the droves just to get additional income to maintain a lifestyle. Was that lifestyle for them something they were used to and wanted or needed? Or was that lifestyle, like you said, to impress others and to dress for others, the Joneses? So that was a big learning experience for me, and I just thought I would share that. Perhaps we could turn that into another show and dive into that in detail in the future.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's a big topic, and that's a big problem. I believe that not only the U.S. has, but everywhere else in the world. And I believe back from where I'm from, that's even worse, where people just try to be, or not to be. They try to show that they are X when they're really Y, or and that's really adding to no good. And to some point, I believe that when I first got into this country, I was probably a little bit like that too. And until I became more confident, until I trusted myself more, then I really became who I am today, saying, no, I'll really be genuine. I'll really be who I am. And if people like me, good. If they don't like me, and I respect that too. But I'll just I'll be who I am, respectful, kind to others, and then at the same time helping the people out there with my message. But I will not try to fake just to impress other people.
And thank you for sharing that. And that's a beautiful message as we start to close. And you used a key word, Vlad, genuine. I think your genuine self comes out when you lower or reduce or eliminate your pride, and your humility comes out to shine, right? When you're humble, you can be that true and genuine self. And I think that's the message you're closing with us on. And I really want to thank you for, pointing us in that direction. Just a positive message at the end here.
And again, Craig, thanks for having me on. And my closing message here would be that, if you're not genuine, if you're not really who you are, if you don't have the best interest of others, people are going to sense that. People are going to feel that. And in the end, you're not going to be any good to anyone. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's a beautiful message. Thank you. And that makes me think of another quote. Let me see. You are what you become. Oh, I messed that up. So I'll have to save that one for another time. But again, Vlad, thank you so much for being on. It's been a great honor. I want to make sure our listeners know exactly how to get a hold of you, all your, various channels. And so if you could, tell us where listeners can get a hold of you, that'd be great. So make sure they can contact you.
Yeah, Craig, and actually, thanks. Yeah, thank you very much for asking that. The best way to really get in contact with me or really communicate and really communicate with me would be through my YouTube channel. If you watch a YouTube video there, just leave a comment, or if you have a question, also you can leave a comment. I make sure I monitor all the comments, and then we can take the communication from there. But yeah.
Okay, and you're welcome. And I want to be very clear, Vlad, make sure that I said it right. It's about Yes to Money podcast, and you have the identical show in video on YouTube channel. Is that correct, or does the YouTube channel have a different name?
No, that's correct. It's both Yes to Money.
Excellent. And your last name, I have it here, but go ahead and spell it for the audience so that they make sure they can contact you.
It's I as in India, Ovu, and a lot of people spell it, or they misspell it for I for L. So, but it's Iovu.
Okay, very Iovu. Very good. Yep. Yeah, and I've run into that too. Depending on what font you're using, the L can look like a 1 or it can look like an I. It's tricky out there, so it's very good to know. So again, Vlad, it was just really an honor having you on, Vlad. A very positive mindset, very positive energy, and talking about I can or I can't, deciding to take action. But all that really comes from your mindset and focusing back, just change your mindset, double your money in 2022. Vlad, just thank you again for being a guest on Career Growth Made Easy, celebrating our 100 plus episodes. And myself, my digital manager, Madison, we wish you the best, and to 100 plus episodes, both on your podcast and YouTube channel. God bless you, Vlad.
All right. Thanks a lot, Craig. We'll catch you somewhere else.
Very good. Have a great day, Vlad.
Right.
See you,
Bye.
listeners. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to our channel. New episodes every Monday. In the meantime, why don't you follow us on social media at Craig Ansell on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. To book a coaching appointment, download our free guides, or join our email list, check out the links in the description below.